In this video, we're going to take a look back at the Ponies program that we wrote a couple videos ago, and we're going to make a few changes to make it a little better. You know, this Ponies program that we wrote was pretty good, but I have a few gripes with it. The first one being, kind of just jumps in and starts doing ponies right away. Wouldn't it be nice if this program actually asked you what your name was and greeted you by name? Now, you might be wondering, why the heck would it need to do that? And you're just going to go along with what I'm doing for now. So let's do this. Let's type string, capital S, name. Again, this line looks very similar to the one right down here. We know that this line declares a variable called numponies that's of type int. So if you had to use that same pattern, what have I done in this line? I've declared a variable. What's it called? It's called name. And what type is it? It's a string. Now, a string is a new type. We've never seen this before, but a string is going to be any sort of text. It's actually everything we put in quotations. So this here, this is actually a string. So is this, and so is actually this entire thing here. All of that's a string. Now, I could just say something like name equals Kayla. But then this would only work if I ran this program. What if I handed it to my friend and wanted them to run it? That's not their name. So let's make this a little more interesting. Let's say name equals readLine. What is your name? If you remember last time, we used a method called readInt, and that was able to read in a number. And specifically, that number was how many ponies we had. This time, we're using something called readLine, which actually is something that reads in a string. So now I've put whatever I type in there that goes in the box or the variable for name. And then let's do this. Let's do print line. Hi, name. Welcome to the pony leg calculator. We're being very nice and polite here. So what does readLine do? It reads in some text that you're able to enter into the console, and actually we'll put it inside this variable here. And then we're printing it out with a little greeting. Let's do one more thing in here. Let's say that the person enters in how many ponies they have, but then they suddenly get a new pony. How can I actually represent that idea in code? Is I can say numponies equals numponies plus 1. Now, this looks a little different than something you would see in your algebra class, because the equal sign actually has a different meaning in math versus in algebra. And this looks a little funky to look at, because in algebra, you wouldn't be able to say x equals x plus 1. That would just be kind of an incorrect statement. But in algebra, this equal sign actually means it's balanced or equivalent. That's not what it means in computer science. The equal sign in computer science means gets, as in the thing on the left side of the equation gets the value of the thing on the right side. So in this case, the way that I read this is the value of numponies is whatever it was before plus 1 extra. I want to kind of bring up one thing that's kind of important to know here. In the same way that the equal sign does not really mean equivalence in computer science, that also manifests in a few different ways here. I can't say x plus 1 equals x or numponies plus 1 equals numponies, because that kind of gets relationship doesn't really make sense. This isn't a variable on the left side, it's actually an expression. So that's not something I'm allowed to do. Also saying A equals B or B equals A, those don't mean the same thing in a computer science class like they do in an algebra class. A equals B would mean A gets the value of B, and B equals A would mean B gets the value of A. So if A was 5 and B was 7, these two expressions would mean very different things. Just a few things that I wanted to go over. We're going to jump from this, and in the next video, we're going to do a fun little graphics program.